Welcome to the Beyond the Suite podcast, sponsored by the Salon Hub. As always, I'm your host, Steve Cassano, and today on the pod, we have Traycee Jones. Traycee Jones is a little bit different than most of our other podcast guests. Not only did she get into the beauty industry a little bit later in life, but she's made up that time very quickly by showing up as her authentic self, unapologetically being who she is and using that element of herself to drive her connections with her clients to then grow her business by word of mouth. I think there's a lot of lessons to be learned here with Traycee. So if you're someone who really leans on the Instagram path to build your book, I highly recommend that you listen to this pod specifically. I think you'll learn a lot. So without any more further ado, here is Traycee Jones. To get us started, I'm going to ask you something very simple. And I want you to introduce yourself to me as if I've never met you before, who you are, the name of your salon suite, and how long you've been operating.
Okay. My name is Traycee Jones, and the name of my salon suite is Lola Jones Lash and Hair Studio. And my granddaughter calls me Lola, so that's why it's not Traycee Jones, it's Lola Jones instead. So
you took the words or the question right out of my mouth. Okay. I was like, wait, where's this Lola coming from?
It's my grandma name.
I love that. And where are you located?
I'm in Huntington Beach, California. I was born and raised here. These are my stomping grounds. This is my home. So I don't ever plan on leaving Huntington Beach, like today anyway. You never say never, but so comfortable here at home.
Oh yeah, I've been there. I don't blame you.
Yeah. I love New York too. So I'll switch ever. Like, what part of New York are you from?
Oh, I'm not from New York. I'm from Philadelphia. You know, we do it a little bit differently down in Philly. A little bit cheaper, just as gritty. And, you get a little bit more elbow room with your rent payment.
I love Philadelphia. I was just there for a class I did with a blonding expert. I had the best time. I would go back to Philadelphia any day.
Oh my gosh. I love it here. I've lived in New York. I've lived in DC. And I came back. I'm from the outside of Philadelphia, so I came back home. It felt like, and I'll leave for better weather for sure. Okay. Don't get me wrong. Huntington Beach is beautiful almost all year round, except for maybe a little bit of the gloominess and the gray, in this time of year. But other than that, I mean, it looks like you got sunshine going on right now.
Yeah, so yes, we do. But we can maybe do some house swapping there every once in a while,
I'm totally down for that. Okay, totally down for that. So speaking of swapping things, right? So you started in a completely different industry and then moved into hair and then eventually your suite. So can you give us a quick rundown of like what you used to do? Because I think it's really interesting for folks to hear and how you made that transition and swapped to a completely different space. Hey, thanks for tuning into the podcast. This is just a really quick reminder for you to like and subscribe on our YouTube channel and on Spotify. It helps us out a lot because then we get to know that you want more of this. So if you can quickly do that for us right now, that'd be great. And we'll continue to make more content for you just like this. All right, back to the pod.
So when I was younger, out of high school, I was not a student. Was not a student. I could care less about school. So I finished high school by the skin of my teeth. And my mom worked for the Postal Service. So she literally took me by the ear, drugged me down to take the civil service exam for the Postal Service. Well, while I was waiting to get an interview, there was a hiring freeze at the post office. So my mom took me by my ear and drugged me down to cosmetology school and said, "You're going to get your hair license." So I got about 900 hours in hair school before I got an interview with the Postal Service. And at the time, I was a young single mom, and the obvious best choice for me at that time was to take the job with the Postal Service. Benefits, retirement, everything that you need, to be successful in raising a family, especially on your own. So I worked almost 31 years with the Postal Service and retired. but I had taken a part-time position at the Postal Service when I was raising my children. And when my children were
Mhm.
old enough and didn't need me as much, I tried to go back full time, and I couldn't get my full time hours back. So I had a friend that I was helping out in her salon. I was working at her front desk, and she's like, you should go look into the apprenticeship program because you don't have to go to school. You can work in a salon and, get your hours to qualify to get a license. And I'm like, So I looked into it and signed up and did it. And my friend said, I'll sign your little report cards. I'll sign off on you, but I cannot teach you anything. You're on your own. Figure it out. So
Wow.
it's a 2-year program, the apprenticeship program. And I took classes and I watched YouTube and I, helped other people with hair. I did whatever I could to get immersed to learn. And I taught myself how to pass state board. I did everything, and I went and took the test and I actually passed. I was shocked. I was like, no way. Who needs to go to school? You know what I mean? Like the apprenticeship program, I think I had to pay like $700, and then I got
Yeah.
paid the 2 years. They paid me, you know what I mean? So,
Right.
and I built pretty much a full clientele within that 2 years as an apprentice. After my second year, I was making $90,000 a year as an apprentice.
That's
So
crazy.
working in the salon, my work ethic is like no others because I was working at the post office from 6:30 in the morning till 10:30 in the morning. I'd show up
Mhm.
to the salon 11 a.m. and I would get home at 9 o'clock every night. So from 6:30 in the morning till 9 o'clock at night, I was working. I loved it. I hated going to the post office, but I loved being at the salon. It made it all worth it. So, um, so I got my license at 50 years old, a licensed
Wow.
cosmetologist. It's been 10 years. I just gave away my age, but whatever.
Sorry, we don't do public math on this podcast,
okay,
so
good.
you're fine.
Thank
We're not
God.
going to connect the dots.
Okay, good.
We'll be okay.
Okay. And so what? So yeah, for
No.
the past 10 years, I've been, a licensed cosmetologist and loving every minute of it for sure.
That is crazy. So you've essentially you cashed in on this crazy educational loophole. Basically, it's what it sounds like, right? You took the apprenticeship program route versus the traditional school route, even though you kind of did that already. So you didn't really have to go back, right? You kind of had the book smarts kind of stored away, maybe somewhere.
Yeah,
some small part of your brain.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. It helped.
Yeah, I love that. And then for when you made that transition, at what point did you stop working at the post office?
I did my 30 years. I got a full pension retirement.
Wow.
So my dad said to me, it was my mom that drugged me down there by the ear. And then it was my dad that wagged his finger and said, you quit this job, I'll never speak to you again. Because of what?
Gosh.
Like, I'm set now. I have a retirement. Yeah. So I'm a dual income. You know what I mean? Like I got the best of both worlds. I'm fully insured. I'm glad my dad said that because he put the fear in me, like, I better not quit this job, and yeah, I put up with it for 30 years and it was hard to do.
That's great. So wait, how many years?
Not fun.
I mean, listen, I mean, it's incredible. 30 years doing anything is an achievement in and of itself. But how many years were you overlapping doing both?
10. Well, actually, 9 years.
9 years. And that's, you're starting that clock like when you started doing the apprenticeship program, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you've only been solo at your salon suite for the 4 of those 10 years then?
Going on 5, yes. But right
going
around.
On 5.
Yes. Right. Going on 5. I think I'm going into my 5th year. Mm-hmm.
That is wild. So I guess my biggest question for you then is, have you learned anything from your previous career that has informed or influenced any of your decision making that you're making now as a salon suite owner, as a business owner?
My postal career, like that
Yeah.
30 years of my life.
You had
Okay,
you had
yes,
30 years of experience doing something.
of,
So, I
of
mean, that's got to
showing
bleed over. I'm
of
just,
showing up and being
yeah.
there and committed to that horrible job. I it's horrible. Ugh. I'm a creative person. It was miserable, but I stayed and
Oh,
I saw it through, and I did it. You know what I mean? I accomplished. I saw it through. So it really did help with my work ethic. Like
yeah.
I don't mess around. My clients make that appointment. I might move them around 15 minutes, 20 minutes, based on what's going on in my day. Or I have a lot of clients that pre-book way in advance. So there's times where I have to hey, look, I'm going out of town. I realize, but I show up for them. My work ethic is impeccable. And I think that, working at that government job for 30 years has a lot to do with it, for sure.
Yeah, that's so interesting. And when you say showing up for them, right? I'm sure that's really led to a lot of your other successes. I mean, for the one thing that, as we've talked in the past, it's really for you, it really feels like the personal connection is your biggest differentiator in terms of what you're doing, because obviously you're in a salon suite, right? There's other people down the hall that are doing something similar.
Of course.
But how are you defining yourself as something different? Is it really just that personal connection? Is it skills based? Like, how do you kind of position that in people's minds? Or do you think about it that way? I'm
I,
just kind of
I
interested in how you
kind of
position
don't. Okay. So
it. Okay.
when I started, I put most of my energy and time into learning lash extensions. So I
Right.
have perfected that. I will tell you, I'm not patting myself on the back or anything like that, but I've got that down and I am good at it. I do them right. I
Mm,
do them good. The best the best products I use. I have that down. I could say that yes, that's my get down. I can do a set of lashes on anybody, and they're going to be perfect. Um,
uh-huh.
so my hair, I am doing hair, a lot of hair extensions now. I got certified in a really awesome method of doing it, and I'm beginning to perfect that as well. But
Mm-hmm.
hair color, I still pray to the hair gods. Oh God, please. You know what I mean? Like, oh God, they don't see me do it, but I'm over there going, oh God. It's a very,
Right.
I still take a lot of classes. I'm still doing a lot of, but I think it's comes down to I'm just lacking self-confidence in that area. It doesn't come off to my clients like that, but I have my clients here. I'm doing their lashes. And they're like, why
Mm-hmm.
don't you just do my hair too? So I'm getting
Nice.
more and more experience and taking more and more classes. So my confidence level is building up. So, but my personality, I think it makes up for the little bit of orange that I got in their hair. You know what I mean? Like
Oh my
they're a
God.
little more forgiving because we've got such a great connection. Like they're not going to leave me nor
Yeah.
forsake me, not even for a little breakage or a little bit of orange, whatever. And I always stand by my work too. I'm like, I'll fix it, and if I can't fix it, I'll find someone that can. You know what I mean? I'll get the help that I need that we can, make
Wow.
this work. But yeah, my connection with my clients, I want to give all of them Christmas presents and birthday presents. I want to, you know what I mean? I want to be at all their
Yeah.
milestones in their life. They become my joy. You know what I mean? And so I love hard, and I get very, very attached to my clients. And so I definitely have forged unbreakable bonds with some of them. Some might come or go, but and I honestly
Yeah.
will tell to them, I think it's me you're coming for, because come on, please, your hair's not that great. They're like, shut up, my hair's perfect. I think I'm hard on myself too. So I like to say
Sure.
my connections and my personality, and my I'm real. I'm just a real person. I think that keeps them
Mm-hmm.
coming back for sure. I honestly do. Yeah.
Yeah. That's so interesting to me because I mean, I've talked to a lot of hairstylists, across the country, and a lot of them are like, I'm the best at doing this, or I've taken hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of classes to know that I am perfect at this. And they would never admit that they're unsure, because I think that they're not realizing that, as much as they should at least, that the people are in their chair probably more because of them than they are because of the service. Like, granted, the service has to be of a certain level and
Of
of a
course.
certain
Yeah.
quality for them to want to come back, right? Or for, in your case, right, your clients to go from lashes to hair and stay a hair and lash client,
Yes.
right, long term. But I think you're in a shining example of what it can mean to overperform in terms of service and client care, and how much that actually means to someone that's sitting in your chair
A
versus
lot.
just the general outcome. I mean, I haven't seen someone personify this in a way that they feel vulnerable and comfortable enough to say that out loud. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't, right? I think everyone should be like, you know what, I'm not really confident in this. And you probably would have a fleet of people behind you saying, no, she's actually very good. She just
They do.
won't tell you that.
They say that.
I'm sure. You know, being humble is a great, you know, piece of moral fortitude to hold on to. But I find it so refreshing that you also understand the fact that you are a key piece of what keeps people there. And
I think
it shows
so.
through, I think, in your style, right? And your personality and the way that you talk. So kudos to you on that.
Thanks.
I promise there's a question coming.
Okay. I'll talk about me all day long. So
hey, listen, and I'm gonna let you do it.
Okay, cool.
But you know, for someone who maybe isn't really in that place, right? Like, obviously, you know, you have the benefit of, and don't take this the wrong way, you have the benefit of experience, right? Of knowing who you are, of having years of understanding where your boundaries are and what you like and what you don't like. And the fact that this is even like an act 2 for you in some ways, right? You had a previous life that started in a very different way. And at the young age of 50, right, you started your salon career in earnest.
Yes.
That, you know, that one, I think, is super inspiring for anyone who's maybe trying to make that leap or thinks that, you know, their time has passed. Obviously, that is not the case.
No.
And I've seen people that are like, well, yeah, no, I'm 30 now. I can't go back. And
what?
You're like, whoa.
Yeah.
You're a third of the way through, pal, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're maybe a third of the way through. Like,
exactly.
that's no issue. But I think from what I really want to ask you is, you know, based on knowing yourself as well as you do, you know, what advice would you give someone who maybe is struggling with I don't want to say the self-confidence thing, but the trouble maybe feeling like they're connecting with their clients really well. Like, you obviously do that extremely efficiently and thoroughly, it sounds like, because you have people coming back, even when you're like, hey, it might be orange or it might be, you know, there might be breakage, but I know they're coming back because they love me.
Right.
Like, that's a huge statement in this industry.
It is.
That's massive. I've never heard anyone say that. And I think you would be, so I'm just wondering, you know, what advice would you have for someone who's like deathly afraid of that or needs to work on that part of their business? They can do it really well, but they're not making the connections that they need to. What's your do you have a tactic, a methodology, a way to get in there?
It's just me. Like, I love hard, and people, I'm interested by them. I'm, you know, first of all, if you've got to fake it, right? This would be I don't have to fake it because I'm genuinely interested. I want, you know, I love digging deep and finding out the tea and getting the juice, you know what I mean? But I'll give the best advice there is. They're like, I thought, just a little off the side note, I go, dang, okay, so I could do lashes, I could do hair, I could do hair extensions. I should go get my like therapist certificate. I can do it all in one. You know what I mean? Like, you get your therapy, you get your hair, you get your lashes, dude, you're done. You don't got to drive around town. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's a brilliant idea. Like, oh my gosh, who hasn't thought of that, you know? So, but I just have that desire though. First of all, my husband is a pastor. So we do have a natural desire to want to, you know, be around people, help people, encourage people. That's like our just from our heart, we like to do. So I was going to say, if people are kind of anxious, socially anxious, you know what I mean? And they have a hard time connecting, start with okay, I'm going to go into work today and I'm just going to ask questions. You know what I mean? I'm going to just try to connect with them, ask questions about their life. You have to let that person, that client feel like it's their time. You know, I'm not going to sit there and talk about but they do like hearing my drama. They do want to know. So they want to ask me what my tea is too or whatever. But I always like make sure I let them do most of the talking, to a certain extent. I ask questions about their lives, about their work. I think just
Mm-hmm.
fake it till you make it type of thing. Just really start asking questions, and then I think then it follows. Like I don't actually. You know what? Just it's hard. It's so hard. I'm just genuine. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you can tell when people are full of it and they could care less. You know what I mean? Just be
Yeah.
your genuine self first and foremost. If that's not working, then start asking questions. Start like saying, okay, I'm going to make sure that I connect. Be what's the word I'm looking for? Be purposeful. You know what I mean? Like tell
Sure.
yourself, I'm going to purposely connect with this client. We all know how to do it, and if you really don't know how to do it, go take some classes. Go take some communication classes. You know what I mean? Like there's more things you could do than just hair. You could.
Yeah.
So just making it purposeful, an effort to really connect on a personal level with your client. I think that's
Yeah.
very important.
Yeah. I think that's really great advice. So essentially, show up authentically to who you are, right? And then also try to be genuinely interested in your clients, or at the very least, start asking questions. And I think this
Mm-hmm.
is really important because that asking questions part is actually a really amazing marketing tactic that we've talked about in the past on this podcast, where you have a treasure trove of information about who is coming to you and why they're coming to you, and they're sitting in your chair and they can't move for roughly 2 hours,
Mm-hmm.
if not 4 hours
Mm-hmm.
sometimes. So
six
asking them
hours
where they go, where they hang out, what they like about you, what they don't like about their experience, what you could be doing better, but then also like that's for you on your side, but you should also be asking them again a lot about what drives them to be there. How can you better serve them by asking questions around the like, what's your favorite coffee order, right? What kind of music do you like? What are you into these days? How can
Mm-hmm.
you maybe customize their experience around what they actually enjoy and what they like? And then also using that. And I know you don't really partake on the digital marketing side of things, but that's our kind of bread and butter. And so for us, it would be, how do you take that and extrapolate it and find more people that are like them? Because typically, if you have a great client, you want more people like your great
like
client.
them.
So
Yes,
where do they go on the
same.
weekends?
Mm-hmm.
Where do they like to hang out? What concert are they going to this weekend? And then how do you show up there as a business owner? But
Right. But,
kind of going off of that, you don't really market digitally, right? You're almost 100% word of mouth built, and you got a
mm-hmm.
full book.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of want to unpack that a little bit, right? I think it kind of comes tangentially off of what we just talked about, but what do you think your key to success has been to grow your business without ever even touching probably the biggest growth engine to hit this industry since 2012?
I know, and
Uh,
it's free,
you're
and
not
it's
even you're not on it, and it's great. I think the fact that you've been able to build a book this way, because I think so many times the people that we talk to have only used social media as a crux to build their book. I think it's really important to showcase someone who hasn't. So I'd love to kind of hear how you've been able to build over time, and what do you think your key to success has been to do that?
The Beyond the Suite podcast is presented by the Salon Hub and the Salon Hub's Salon Marketing 101 course. The Salon Hub Marketing 101 course is designed to teach you the building blocks of marketing that you can apply to your salon business so you can get more clients in your chair in less time. So if you haven't taken a marketing class before, this is a great place to start. To join, all you have to do is go to learning.thesalonhub.social to get started today.
so number one, like I told you from the very beginning, I'm born and raised here. This is my
Mm-hmm.
stomping grounds, my hometown, so it's like everybody that knows me, you're out better be in my chair. You know what I mean? Like even at the very beginning, I was like, oh no, you're coming,
Yeah.
I used social media in the very beginning, like, all right, guys, I'm doing and these were just people that were my friends, the followers. They weren't, I wasn't still am not Instagram famous or whatever, but All right, I'm doing lash
Right.
sets for $25, So that's how I got him
Right.
in. All right, I need a model. I'm doing a balayage. Who's up for it? So just being in this hometown and knowing so many people, like
Mhm.
that helped a lot from the very beginning. Just my friend or alone, got me way started. And then
Sure.
also, like I said, I started out with lashes, and my lashes became quality because of the time and effort that I put in to learn and be good at it. So
Right.
that was very much word of mouth. Um, they told their friends that, and I was slammed out the door. Plus, I was working in a salon at that time. So there was also walk-ins that were coming in. And
Mhm.
so number one thing is just me knowing a lot of people here has really
Sure.
helped that out. And then the lashes just took off, and I mean, uh, just yeah, her friend, their friend. It's so word of mouth. I don't know if you know anything about lash extensions, but have you seen the lashes on people where you're just like, good God, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
whoa,
Yeah.
are there even any eyes under there? Kind of what.
Oh yeah.
So my lashes aren't like that. My lashes are very natural. They're not, you
Mhm.
want to say subtle, but you're wearing them, but they're very, very natural and very beautiful, very simple. And so my clientele are, women my age, or in their 40s, just
Sure.
that are wanting a more. So those women that's the perfect clientele age right there, because they got money to spend. They know
Mhm.
commitment. They know, they have respect for showing up on time. And so that's the niche that I got into. And then
Mhm.
I would have a client laying there, and I'm very open. I'm like, dude, when are you gonna get your roots done? All I could see trying to do your lashes, and it's like all that gray is reflected. I can't. She's like laughing at me. She's like, I just never can find the time. I go, you know what? You can come. I could put your root color in. You could lay down. I could lash you, and then we'll rinse your root color out. And so it's like two birds with one stone. So then that's when I started building more of my hair clientele, because my clients are like, well, that's genius. I don't have to go to 5 different places or whatever. So I started
Right.
with my lash clientele, and then guess what? Started doing the
Mhm.
extensions. By God, you guys are wearing extensions now. You know what I mean? They can't take no for an answer for me putting extensions in you. So they have really been loyal and good to me. Like they've grown with me and allowed me to take them with them. And then, they tell their friends, and I'm booked out till August, September. I have people on my books for December of next year. Like it's crazy.
That's
And
crazy.
I still stay very humble. It's like I feel like we've talked about before. There's people inside here that blow doors off me. You know what I mean? And or
Yeah.
down on the corner or down the way. But they're like, no, I would never want to go to anybody else. But so and this is the thing with Instagram and me. I feel like if I wasn't so busy, that I would probably
Mhm.
be able to put more time into that, because I'm not a photographer,
Yeah.
I'm not an author, and I have to work on those things. I'm not just going to throw
Mhm.
something up willy nilly. Like if you look at my Instagram, I don't know if you've ever got a chance to look at it
Yeah.
or not. It's very beautiful, aesthetically well. I just don't
Oh yeah.
post that much. Um, to me, I'm
For sure.
almost thinking that it's not so much uh, getting clientele as it's becoming famous. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mm.
Right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's
I
what I
do.
think. I don't have that desire to become famous. I don't have that, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's wonderful. I follow so many great
For sure.
people that have inspired me, like to no end on Instagram. They got thousands and thousands of followers. Good on you. I don't, I don't need to do that. You know what I mean? So not having the time in
Yeah.
between clients to do a full photo session and write a story about it and all those kind. if I have the time, I probably would, just because I use my
Mm-hmm.
Instagram as a portfolio, a place for people that are
Right.
asking me, oh, go check it out. Go see what this is what I do. That's what I use it for. I wish I could post more. I feel guilty because I don't. I'd really like to. I'm actually getting at the point where I think I'd like to hire somebody to help me with it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think it also has to come down to, what's your end goal, right? Like if your end goal is to be booked out, right? You've already checked that box, right?
Yes.
If your end goal is to, make more money, that's probably a better factor of you being booked out as much and then raising prices versus
Yeah.
opening up a wider Instagram funnel, right?
Right. I just raise the prices.
I mean, you raise your prices 10%, you make 10% more.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's generally how this works.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think before you would go down that train, I would just ask you why, right? Why go down that road? Is it a pride thing? And that's okay. I think having pride in your work and in your business is a very valid answer to
sure.
why to grow your why to grow your portfolio, why to get more followers, stand out, be that person beyond just Huntington Beach area that someone's looking up to as an influencer for themselves. And I think there's a lot to be said in this industry specifically of the folks who are in, the 2,000 followers range who think that they're not doing well enough, but their book's full for the next 3 months. They're just not Instagram famous or an influencer to their peers, but that's also not what they were going for. So that's not failure. That's just a different path.
Exactly. That's exactly right. Mm-hmm. I agree 100%.
So my question to you then would be, if you did have more time and you were putting it into your Instagram, what would be your goal at that point? Right.
So
what would you want to get out of it?
Because remember when I told you I had to teach myself, right? Mm-hmm. Everything I've learned, I've had to go and find the teacher, find the video. Yeah. So that's what Instagram did for me. Brand new, green, don't know what I'm doing. I was able to get that education through Instagram. I learned so much. I mean, that's was my main place I went. Looking up this, that, and the other, and getting in their algorithms, following people and finding these amazing, incredible hairstyles and learning something from them. That for me, I just don't, like maybe I don't give myself enough credit. I don't think I have, I'll teach you lashes all day long. As far as hair is concerned, I don't think I can teach anybody, very much at this point. Maybe I can, but I think it's more my self-confidence again. So that would probably be my goal. If I was a little more confident in my work, would be maybe I can offer somebody some education. You know what I mean? Maybe somebody will get from this and learn from it, and their business will grow too. I'm all about adjusting other people's crowns, and hey, this is a better, easier way to do it, and I don't hold back any secrets. I'll tell you everything. You know what I mean? This is the glue I use. These are the lashes I use. This is the hair. I will tell you everything, where to get it, how to get it cheaper. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you everything, I'll do it all. So for me, I guess that would be my goal. If I can be somewhat of a support in education and to help other people that are just starting out along, like I needed somebody to do that for me when I started. So
yeah. I love that. Mm-hmm. And I think there's also another path in there, right? Like I know that you're saying, well, if I was better at hair or that kind of thing, I don't think you have to be, right? You have a totally different skill set and niche. One, you're amazing at lashes. I think that's, a wide enough range for you to actually go out and teach people more about how you have honed this skill to such an expert level. But then beyond that, kind of going back to what we were just talking about, using that and your personality and the way to invest in your clients. Because I think that no one is really teaching that side of the industry as much, right? There's a million different people going, okay, you want to apply color like this and hold the brush at this angle and do these types of motions or ergonomics. You want to make sure that you're standing and you're actually keeping your elbows closer and you're not doing one of these. Yeah. But no one's actually going into being like, here's how you can make genuine connection with your clients.
That's
If you're struggling with this part, here's what we can do. Because I feel like that comes naturally to you, right? Similar to us, right? We're in this to put it in your words, right? Adjust everyone's crown so that they can get more people to see their own brilliance, right? To shine it up for them a little bit, or teach them how to make it shine a little bit brighter on digital media side of things, right? Through websites and Instagram and the whole vibe. But that's because that's what I knew best when I started out. And this was the types of folks that I wanted to help, because I have a mother and an aunt and a cousin who are all in the beauty industry. And the goal is eventually, was originally to, like, I know these women, I was brought up by these women. Let me go help more people like them find success and own their own businesses in a way that makes them successful, adjust their crowns. Right. So I love it, but I didn't worry about not knowing any of the hair things, right? All the technical skills. Listen, I can't do lash extensions. I can't do hair extensions. I can do a pretty good fade from back in college when I used to cut all my buddies' hair, but that's where it starts and ends.
Right.
What I can do, though, is provide my expertise. And I think for you, that's very evident to me, is the fact that you've really nailed how to make genuine connection within four walls while providing a service.
I never thought
and that's really
that.
what I wanted to get out of you today, mostly because I think you most singularly, I mean, I'm not to say that any of our previous guests aren't good at this, because I think they really are. We've chosen them because they've shown some type of self-awareness in this space. But in talking to you, you really know who you are. And you've already hit the nail on the head of, like, asking questions is a great way to build bonds, because everyone loves to talk about themselves,
right?
As we all know, right? Giving them the opportunity and holding the actual space, but listening, I think, is really where you said it briefly, but I think it's super important, is listening to those folks and then helping them or providing your own insight and pushing them along beyond just the flat, like they're not talking to a wall, they're talking to a person.
Well, I go above and beyond. I have a client right now. She's away she got a job at an airline, so she had to go for 30 days training. And she told me before she left, we filled her lashes all up. She's like, yeah, I'll be gone for 30 days. But that 13th day that we're there, they told us they're going to slam us with 4 different tests. And if, we don't pass these tests, we don't make the next cut. We're done at that 13th day. Well, today was our 13th day. So yesterday I texted her and I said, tomorrow's the day. You got this, girl. And she texted me back. She's like, I cannot believe you remembered that. Cannot believe you remembered that. Thank you so much. Like, this means the world to me. And how small was that? You know what I mean? Like, that took 2 seconds out of my day. Like, I did jot it down. I'm very bad about dates and times. So I did jot it down, and I did give myself a reminder. I want to reach out to her on that 12th day, let her know I'm thinking about her, So just little things like that. Grandbabies are born, or, someone's in the hospital. It doesn't just happen here. Like, I shoot out little texts. Hey, thinking about you. How's your dad feeling? Like simple little things. But you know what? I'm not doing it to try to build connection. Want to know, you know what I mean? Like, I genuinely want them to know that I got them, that I'm here. I'm, you're not just a client. You're a human being in my life that I love dearly,
Right. I mean, if you're going to spend that much time with them, right, and you're going to have them commit that much time to you, I think that's really important to show that you're also as committed. And also, no one said you can't cheat, right? You can write stuff down in your planner to text people, right? And it can still be meaningful just because you didn't think about it on the spot, right? We've had family members in our past that we've forgotten that it was their birthday, or we got too busy that day, and we're like, oh gosh, I totally forgot. I'm so sorry, right? But when you put it in your calendar, you tend to remember more often. It doesn't mean you don't love them any less.
Exactly.
Right? I think the same thing happens. I think people get kind of caught up on, like, well, it might not be genuine, or maybe they're going to think that I'm trying too hard, or things like that. It's like, well, if you have that type of mentality going in, right?
Right.
You might have some trouble there, but
Right.
at the end of the day, right, you can cheat. You can keep track of these things, and it's the small stuff that counts. Because I can almost guarantee you that she has 10 friends that did not ask her
They did
about that
not.
day,
And she told me that. They did not. So
but you did,
crazy. But
right?
yes, I did. I needed to do that for her. Like I felt like, and
Yeah,
and I don't connect with every client. I have some that was referred from a friend of a friend that comes
mm-hmm.
in, lays down, doesn't say a word, and I have to respect that. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I'll start asking little questions, and when the questions are yes, no, yeah, then I know, okay, I'm going to give
yeah,
her peace. I'm going to turn on an Audible book and we're going to chill, And that's what she
right.
wants when she comes here. So I care enough about her as well is to
Mm-hmm.
not torture her with all, me jabbing and whatever, So you don't connect with everybody on such grand level as others. Do you know what I mean? Like
100%. I
yes.
totally get it. But quick
Read
question:
the room, Traycee. Read the room.
what is the Audible book that you put on?
It all depends on
Okay.
I found that the romance ones, they can get a little hot and steamy and it can get uncomfortable, from time to time. So I tend to do like thrillers. Some of them,
Ooh.
you know what I want to do? I want to learn Spanish. So I think I might do a Babbel and start,
Okay.
learning Spanish.
Yeah.
But for the most part, my clients always text me, what was that book? Because I got to go get it now. So thrillers, psychological thrillers. I have done a few like documentaries. Me and my clients, we just read a really rad one called To Shaken the Sleeping Self. And it's about a guy, his name is Jedediah. I can't remember his last name, but he rode his bike from Oregon to Patagonia. Rode his bike over 13,000 miles. And it's this incredible story. And he actually narrates it. And incredible story. I highly recommend it. It just, if you can do anything you put your mind to, literally, always remember that. Anything you put your mind to. I believe it wholeheartedly. I mean, so, yeah.
As you should, right? Look what you've been able to do in your own life, right?
Oh, yeah.
You've achieved a lot, both personally and professionally. I mean, we've focused on the professional side and we've kind of glazed over the personal side, but you've achieved a lot there too, just by way of being a mom, and
a wife,
setting a great example, right? A partner, a community builder, right? A great friend. I mean, it's multifaceted, and I think that's really important. Okay. We've gotten to the part where we're going to do some rapid fire questions.
Okay.
All right. They're going to be easy, but you have to keep your answers down to a sentence or a very short story.
Okay.
All right. So the first one is, I need a quick story about when lashes went wrong.
This podcast is sponsored by the Salon Hub. Have you joined the Salon Hub community yet? Salon Hub is the first community designed to support salon suite professionals in their endeavor to become successful entrepreneurs. The community is free to join, so sign up today and share your experience, get answers to your questions, and ask for feedback from your peers as we all aim to grow in 2024. To sign up, visit thesalonhub.social and click the community button at the top. We'll be waiting for you.
Okay. Well, lashes went wrong. The only story I have for you concerning that is that when I first started doing them, I was very slow at it. So I could not get the lashes completely full in the amount of time that I had allotted for the client. So they would come back in 2 weeks to get their fill with 2 lashes done on their head. And I would melt down like, oh my God, how am I going to, do this? I've got an hour to put on 4 hours worth of, and that was probably I've never had really anything bad happen, the lashes, other than I didn't get enough on and they came back with nothing. And I only did that a few times before I started giving myself more time in an appointment, right? I'm obviously need more than an hour. So I expanded my appointment till I got good, then I shortened it back again. But I kind of got ahead of myself. So that was probably my worst, but everything else fine in last department. Please don't ask
That's
me.
good. I was trying to get you and I couldn't even do that. You're too good.
Yeah.
All right. Morning person or evening person?
Oh, well, because I had to get up so early to work at the post office, I set an alarm for 30 years, 5:15, 5:30 in the morning. I do not want to set an alarm. I don't want to get up early to go work out. I don't want to, and maybe that's just now, but I do enjoy getting up in the morning and having to be quiet and kind of the house to yourself. But I like to wake up organically, naturally, 6:37. You know, maybe that's a morning person, but do I like to wake up to an alarm? Oh no, won't do it. Nope.
How about let's put it this way: do you prefer to work in the morning or work in the evening?
Evening, probably.
Evening.
I don't know. I'll start at 7. I'll start whenever. I don't say no. Probably a problem. My husband thinks it's a problem. I think it's, good. But if you want to show up at 7 a.m., I'll show up at 7 a.m. You want to show up at 9 o'clock? I think it's only a
problem if you don't want to do it.
Right, exactly. Well, I set up a little lash room at my house. So sometimes I'll be like, yeah, I'll take you at 9, but you got to come to my house. Because I want to be in my jammies and my slippers, and be home.
Nice.
But, yeah, so I kind of set that up to do that. But I'm all hours. I'm like my work ethic, like I said, like I have a goal, and that's to make a lot of money in a very short time because I'm older, you know what I mean? So I'm stacking the cash, getting ready for, when I don't want to do this anymore,
Hell yeah. So that way you get your pension and you have savings.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. Love it. All right. If you could only be on one social media network, whether it's TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, or Snapchat, which one you keeping?
Insta. I'm the most comfortable on Instagram. I like the way it works. It flows better with me. All the other ones, I'm like, I don't know what the hell. What is this? But I don't get it. But Instagram, I have a clearer understanding of how it works. So definitely Instagram.
All right, fair. All right, next one is sing or dance. What's your choice?
Oh. Sing.
Wow.
Possibly.
Nice.
Yeah.
Love it. Do you sing to your clients?
Mm-hmm.
I'm
like, I can't help it because I have a playlist that's probably got 8 to 10 hours worth of songs on it. And I play it all day. I don't go to different radios, and I'm like, you'll have to excuse me. I might bust out into song. It's hard for me not to sing, especially if I know every word. They're like, sing away, Trace. And every once in a while, I'll throw in a couple, but yeah, no, I serenade them.
I love that. And what's the genre? What's your 8-hour playlist genre?
You would love it. I get the most compliments on my playlist. It is everything from 1950s to Metallica to Misfits to Elton John, Steve. I'm now, what I'm really into right now is The Dip and These Sacred Souls. Have you heard of them?
Ooh.
You've got to get you. Oh.
All right. I'm writing it down.
These Sacred Souls, you'll love it. It's kind of like a old school R&B, but they've been together since 2022. Oh, it's amazing. The Dip or Mayor Hawthorne. That new genre right there.
You know what? The Dip, they did come across my Spotify literally last week. They're more of like a funk R&B band, right?
Kind of, but like a little more old school, like the new school. They have a little more of an old school feeling to them. Mm-hmm. And These Sacred Souls, oh, you'll love them. You have to put it up. But so I'm kind of like into that, but anything and everything, if it moves me, I don't care what genre it is. If it moves me, it's going on the playlist.
I love that. That's awesome. So it's a building playlist essentially.
Oh yeah, because
it's not set in stone. You're adding.
So I have to say the A word, because if I say her name, she'll say, "What do you want?" You know who I'm talking about? The little speaker that you talk to. So I put my playlist on, and sometimes I'll have her play like a station. I'll tell her, "Oh, play the Sacred Soul station." So I'll hear more of that genre. So if I hear a song, I just tell her, add it to Tracy's Favorites playlist, and she puts it in there. I've been doing that for 10 years. So you can only imagine how big and huge that playlist is. Yeah, it's amazing.
Oh, man. That's a catalog at that point. Right.
It is. Yes.
I love that. All right. Next one is, if you had to give one piece of advice to someone who's new in a suite, they're just starting their business, what is the one most important piece of information that you're imparting to them?
So they're just starting business. So they never even went to a salon. They were never like a commissioned stylist. They literally got their license and they're coming to a suite. Yeah.
They're coming from a salon, traditional salon. They have a small book perhaps, right?
Okay.
Nothing crazy. Let's just say the average stylist at a salon is thinking about making the jump, right? They have that moment of courage. They sign the dotted line. They're like, I think I'm probably ready. And then they see you in the hallway and they're like, oh my gosh, Traycee, I don't know what I got myself into. What do I do? Can you give me any piece of advice? And you are on your way to a client and you're already 5 minutes late. What is the one thing that you're telling them in the hallway?
Believe in yourself. Don't give up. I already told the girl in here who wanted to go into a bigger suite. She had a smaller one. She's like, what do I do? I don't know if I want to, I don't know if I want to take the leap. I don't know if I want to take the jump. What should I do? And I'm like, if you take the leap and you take the jump, you will make it work. You just have to go forward, move forward and make it work. Do what you got to do. And if whatever that means, getting new clients, then go get that new client. How am I going to get that new client? Build your Instagram. You know what I mean? There's so many different things, but just keep the forward momentum. Keep moving forward. Definitely.
It's good advice. All right. I got two more for you and then we are done. The next one is, if you could do it all over again, would you change anything? And what would you change if you could?
It would have to do with probably because I was in a salon environment with my friend. It was her salon. And I had not yet learned how to hone down my personality. And that kind of got in the way with relationships in the salon environment, right? Because you're not just by yourself. Sure. You're with, but I wish I really could have matured a little sooner than I have now. But you learn by your mistakes, but also doing that, knowing that I'm probably better off in my own space, so everything happens for a reason, right? Through that, I realized I'm probably better off here, in my own space where I call all the shots, where it's my idea, and I don't have to argue with anybody about it, So, but I do kind of wish I would have handled coworkers and boss, in a little more mature and professional way. Yes, but I'm glad I'm here though.
I think that's a very relatable opportunity for improvement, let's say.
Right.
All right. Last one is take a minute and think about it, but I want one specific really happy moment or memory that you have of you and your suite from the past year or two. And I want you to describe it to us. So I want to leave on a happy note.
Okay. So for me, first of all, I moved in, to the salon suite And one of the things I was really afraid of is not being shoulder to shoulder with people that know what they're doing, because I would always be like, I need help formulating, so I was really nervous being in myself and not having like, be able to come to work and see friends. Well, that's not true, because I found three really amazing human beings in the salon suite that have become my family and my friends, and I can count on them for everything. And my number one, Brittany, she became my mentor, and she began really helping and teaching me with hair. And I remember being frustrated and defeated. I'm never going to get this. I'm never going to get this. And I was doing hair. I was doing it on my own. I was praying to the hair gods, and she came in like kind of right after. And my client, I was very honest with my client, and they're like, who cares, Traycee? If we screwed up, we'll just get it fixed. They were letting me be kind of a guinea pig, or I trust you, don't worry about it. And
Wow.
7 hours, you know what I mean? And I had to tone twice. I screwed up, but she was busy with a client. I troubleshoot on my own. I figured it out. It was very stressful. She came in at the end. She's like, it's perfect. You did it. It's perfect. And like, I had tears running down my face, and I can still think about it now. It was like probably my proudest moment, like, I did it. You know what I mean? I screwed it up a couple times, but I fixed it, and I did it. And she's my happy person here, my happy place. But that was, for me, my happiest time, that I succeeded, that I figured it out, that like, she's like, you got this now. You know what I mean? You got this. And I'm like, I do. I got this.
Yeah.
But I'm still building my confidence. It's very scary. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah.
But I'm still building my confidence. But that really brought me so much joy to have her co-sign, and because she's walked in here and said, oh no, we need to change this. You need to put this on here. You know what I mean? She has, but she's like, oh no, nailed it. So that was a very, very happy time.
That.
For sure.
I love that.
A work in progress right here.
Aren't we all?
Clearly.
Well, Traycee, thank you so much for your time today. I've had an amazing time talking to you. Obviously, your effervescence comes through even digitally, which is impressive.
Awesome.
So thank you so much for your time and your inspiration and your stories. I think, I've enjoyed listening to them, and I think they're going to help other people out there also start making that personal connection more important, as you have. So
it has to
thank
be
you so
just
much.
as important as how the hair turns out, right? Thank you, Steve.
If not more, apparently.
Exactly. It's more. I'm telling you it is. I've got it. It's more. Thank you so much, Steve. I had a blast. I appreciate you letting me do this. I had a great time. Thank you.
Good. I'm glad. Thank you.
All right.